Hello and welcome back to the We Are Gamers YouTube channel. I'm your host LJ90 and we are back with another Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires Let's Play. This part of the tutorial will be going over doing your first raid and everything that goes into a raid, what raids accomplish, why you would want to do them, when you can do them, and yeah, really just everything about that. The first thing I want to do though before I actually get into the raid is sort of talk about preparing for the raid. Actually, you know what? No, I changed my mind. You know what we're going to talk about today? Before we get into the raid, we're going to go into a little bit more with the virtue system. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to attempt to recruit somebody, and hopefully she'll join. I know Saiwenji is out there somewhere, so I'm going to attempt to recruit her. And if she joins me on this go, you'll see what happens, because right now you'll see my virtue is currently 1 evil, and we know Saiwenji, her virtue tends to be at 1 or 2 good. And when you have someone in your army, regardless of their friendship rating with you, if the virtues are too diametrically opposed or if the virtues are too opposite of each other, they will actually revolt and leave you, or sometimes worse, take up arms against you. But since we're just a vagabond unit, no one can actually take up arms against you. All they can do is leave you. So I'm going to attempt to do that first. And while I'm getting that done, when you prepare for a raid, the things you want to look at when you're preparing for a raid are your troop levels specifically. You want to make sure your troop levels are high enough to sustain a battle. You can only bring 3 people in with you when you do a raid. So you want to make sure you have enough troops to sustain those 3 members. Remember, each 1,000 troops counts as 1 life. So you want to make sure you have at least 3,000 so that everyone can go in there. But if it's a more difficult opponent, you want to make sure that you have enough troops to sustain them dying multiple times, especially on the harder difficulties. There you are. Alright, and we got Saiwenji. Now again, I'm doing an evil playthrough, so hopefully what will happen is alright, we've got diplomacy. Okay, so she hasn't left yet. Just wait for it. Sorry about that. When you're doing a raid or joining any sort of battle, regardless of whether you're a vagabond unit or a prefect or an officer, you can only directly interfere or directly invade places that are adjacent to you. I think we went over that with you when we were doing quests as well. So now I'm getting more troops through the evil route. I've decreased my virtue and I've earned a new title, which has also boosted my attack stat. I'm constricting more troops, just getting ready for the raid to come, as I said in the beginning of this video. And now Saiwenji wants to leave me because now my virtue has decreased to a point where she can no longer be a part of my army. Now all this means is she's just going to leave the army. You can always recruit her back, but if you recruit her back, you'll have the same problem. Regardless of your friendship, if the virtues are too different, they'll leave you. See, I'm still only an evil 1, but that was enough for her to just say, you know what, I'm out. I can't do this. Now, you can always raise your friendship levels during banquets or grand banquets. You can also check your friendship levels here just by going to your ally info. You'll see Li Jue and Ray Fan are both D friendship, but they haven't left me yet. It's because they're ambivalent about my virtue rating. So when you're building your army, that's something you also have to keep in mind And of course, as we went over before, your allies and your close friends will introduce other characters to you to raise your friendship rating with those characters. That can be something to help along. Alright, so we're actually going to get into a raid now. When you're raiding someone as a vagabond unit, because you can't own land as a vagabond, typically you'd only want to do this when you see an area that you want to make your own. Or if you've allied with someone and you can see they're trying to expand their territory, you want to help them expand by weakening the person. Now you see I'm doing troop allocations now. I can either give myself 2 lives, everyone else 3 lives, and I think that's what I'm going to go with. And you can see at the bottom the troop state, the troop strength, and the battle state. So the battle state, even though I'm bringing in all of my troops, I'm still vastly outnumbered. So this is going to be a difficult battle. But, you know, let's go for it. And again, the goal of the raid is to severely weaken the force you are raiding. When you complete a raid, you don't earn the territory. This is very similar to the skirmish from Dynasty Warriors 7 Empires, just on a smaller scale. And unlike quests, these are full-fledged battles. You have access to all of your tactics. You are not able to capture people in a raid when you're doing a raid proper. Pardon me. You're not able to capture people when you do a raid, but what you can do is you can inflict massive damage onto the enemy force, which softens them up for future invasions. So I'm going to be bringing along ranged turret, my large-scale stratagem, and transformation, so I can return to the main base immediately in the case of something happening. Hopefully I'll get to show you guys what the large-scale stratagem does and how to trigger those and how to use those successfully. I can show you guys how to build turrets. One quick note about turrets, and really any other base that you build, whether it's a turret, a catapult, a player can only build one of those at a time. That's not to say you can build a turret and your allies can build another turret. There will be two turrets, but each time you, the player, uses your stratagem turret or catapult, you'll replace the one that you've built. So you'll be building a new one. Now, when it comes to bases, these are what the different bases do. Supply bases restore your troops. Offensive bases give you a little bit of attack boost. Defensive bases give you a little bit of defensive boost. And you can level those up so they can have more durability, more troop strength. You can see how much that costs in terms of materials. So really, there's a lot that goes into this. It's not the same old Dynasty Warriors where you can just run in and smash and hope for the best. There's actually a little bit of planning that goes into it. Do I have enough materials to carry out this raid? This is a little bit ambitious for me, so hopefully I don't make a complete fool of myself. And let's get to it. And we're doing swimmingly so far. Oh my goodness. So if you notice by my health bar, I have one blue triangle filled in. That shows how many lives I have. And as you can see, I just built my turret. You can build the turrets anywhere on the map where that light shows. And if you pay closer attention, when you use skills like turret or catapult, you'll have a range of effect. The ranged turret has about, 50 meters? So the box around the stratagem itself is pretty small, but you can actually see the area that it will affect. And the ranged turret will hit everything within that spot. So it's really a nice way to soften bases up, soften officers up, and really just help you as you are making your campaign through the battle. And you'll notice, just like Dynasty Warriors of the past, to capture bases, you just have to defeat troops within the base. And the more troops you defeat, the lower the troop strength number at the top goes. And once that goes to 0, you now own the base. And just like Dynasty Warriors games in the past, you have to have a clear path to the main camp. Now, what they did add in Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires is is what we call the secondary main camp, or the secondary camp. Taking this camp will result in a technical victory for both sides. You'll count that as raid successful on your side, but if you don't take the main camp or you lose, you still have that base that counts as a victory. That does count as a loss on your record. If you're on the defense side, if they take your secondary camp and you still win, you don't lose the territory, so it counts as a narrow victory, but you still suffer all the penalties of a loss. So it's a nice little wrinkle they threw in there. If you find a battle not going your way, you want to get something out of it and you're the invading force, just go for the secondary camp, and you'll essentially get all the credit for winning except the territory. So it's just something to keep in mind. Now, you'll notice there's 2 glowing markers on my map. I didn't showcase it before I started the raid, but one thing you can do is you can set your own battle objectives, and these battle objectives grant you a boost in experience if you can complete them or not. And these range from capturing 4 bases, or capturing an X amount of bases, defeating X amount of officers, maintaining X amount troop strength, or defeating a certain officer within 3 minutes. And the final one is defeating or capturing a certain base within 3 minutes. And doing those yields you various levels of experience. Now, see, if I build a turret now, it replaces the turret that I previously built, and you can see it's actually working right now. Now, a word of caution: if you want to use the battlefield objective, defeat a certain officer within a certain amount of time, that officer gets supercharged. That officer gets the Lubu treatment. As you can see, she has the power aura around her, and that lasts even if the 3 minutes has expired. They just boost that officer for the entire stage. Now, once you defeat them, it's gone. You don't have to worry about them being supercharged anymore. But they will remain supercharged until until you've actually defeated them once. As you see, I'm trying to put the turret as close to the base as possible so it will continue to do damage to the base. And we're going to start the large-scale stratagem. Large-scale stratagems you can only use once per battle, regardless of if they fail or not. To pull off a large-scale stratagem, it will tell you how many of the stratagem meter you need and also how many officers have to withdraw as well to accomplish it. For the large-scale stratagem they give you in the beginning, cover fire, 2 officers have to withdraw. If you're doing a raid, that means all of your support has to withdraw to pull it off. If you look at the top right corner, you'll see a timer. I have until that timer runs out until the stratagem actually succeeds. To ensure that it succeeds, I cannot die, and my base that has the green marker around it cannot fall. Those 2 things have to remain true for the remainder of that time. As you can see right there, you see it's that defense base in the bottom right. So now I have to try my best to not die and not let that base be taken. The AI will not just rush for that base unless there's a clear path to it. Since there's no clear path to that base, I'm kind of safe. I have to do some work to get in there. So I'm safe for now. I can go about my business and do this. Now, again, these are really just the stratagems that are available to you in the beginning. The way to unlock more stratagems is earn different titles, earn different ways of life, and build academies once you have the ability to build, or once you have the ability to construct buildings, whether you're a prefect, a martial, strategist, or a ruler yourself. And we'll go over that in a later video. I think that's the 5th or 6th video where we go over what exactly you can do once you own your own county, for lack of a better word. I've been playing a lot of Crusader Kings lately, so in this game, this actually has some similarities with Crusader Kings. It's basically a combat, or it can turn into a combat-focused Crusader Kings. It doesn't have the depth of it, but anyways, getting off topic, let's take the secondary base. Now, once I take this secondary base, I will get credit for a victory, no matter what. And you'll notice the secondary base, it's a little tougher to take, and that's why I set up the turret. You can see the turret. Even if I'm not striking people, the count or the troop strength will always fall because it is constantly under assault. And you'll notice some arrows are actually flying at me. Some bases will have spot turrets on them, and the spot turrets just attack any enemy presence that is within the base. So if you notice your health just shrinking when you're within a base and you don't think anything's hitting you, chances are it's a spot turret doing it. And you see a spot turret got taken down. Oh, cover fire triggered. I didn't even notice cover fire triggered. So yeah, if you cover fire triggered, it just rains arrows down throughout the entire stage for a set amount of time, weakening everybody and everything. It's basically just having a giant turret erect through the whole stage that hits everything. That's what cover fire does. Didn't even notice that it triggered. Wow. Slacking on my part. Now you'll see the raid has succeeded. That doesn't mean that the raid is over. You'll even get this message if you're doing a proper invasion and you take the secondary camp. It'll say the raid is successful. That means no matter what happens, I will get credit for a win, and I'll get all the benefits of winning without the territory. But I want to take the main camp. Always more glory in taking the main camp. Do as much damage as possible. And as you can see, if you look at the top right, the troop meters, you can see I've pretty handily decimated their forces. So whoever invades this force next, they'll deal with a pretty weakened group. All right, let's mop this up. This hopefully won't take too long. But yeah, this is a raid. I am not going to invade this land. I'm not going to take this land for myself. I want to use this series to show the different roles of your officer, the different paths you can take. The obvious one would be raise your own banner here and become a ruler. And once you're a ruler, you have access to all of these different functions. But I want to show you what different things you can do other than being a ruler. I feel like the ruler is the obvious choice. Now, I'll show you how to be a ruler eventually and the different ways you can become a ruler. But I want to use this series to show you how to sort of rise through the ranks and become top dog. So, I took the base. Raid successful. See, those are my battlefield objectives. I succeeded one and failed all three. There's no penalty for failing them. So it's really all reward, no risk. So I got some bonus points. Troop strength, that matters. Troop strength goes into fatigue, and if someone is defeated and they have 0 troop strength, they die in battle. So yes, that's a raid. You'll see I didn't actually gain the land. I'm a vagabond. I have no land, but I've severely weakened that locale. All right, and that is it. We saw the damage I did. This is how raids work. As a vagabond unit, really isn't much to a raid. Again, only if you want to take that land for yourself, or if someone you've allied with wants that land, you can shoot them an assist. You can put yourself in the Homeboy Hall of Fame and do the dirty work for them. You'll see they're weakened. The damage level is at a 3. They're just ripe for the picking right now. So that's been this video. We hope you enjoyed it. The next one will go over how to defend yourself and what goes into a defense and what you can expect from that. That'll be a quick video. And then we'll get into the deeper political aspects of this game. Because like I said, there's more than just hacking and slashing. There's actual a pretty, I shouldn't say vastly in-depth, but there is some political posturing within this game as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Now you can look forward to the next one within the week or so. And we hope to see you around next time. As always, we thank you for following We Are Gamers on Twitter. We thank you for supporting all the things that we may be doing individually. We know Raiden is doing his streams of Bladestorm, and he just did his Let's Plays for charity in the previous months. We want to thank you for that, and just supporting us in all that we do. It really means a lot to us. Continue to do that. We hope to have a lot more content for you down the pipe. Token and Kiwami comes out. It's already out in Europe. It should come out in America Tuesday, and we'll definitely be on that as well. You can look out for some streams and videos for that. But until then and until next time, take care. We thank you for everything, and we'll see you later. Peace.